What is up, y'all, and welcome back to another video. And recently, the most improved player race has been released, and it has Cade Cunningham at number 1, Tyler Hero, Christian Braun, Dyson Daniels, Evan Mobley, Amen Thompson, Jalen Williams, and then DeAndre Hunter. So I kind of just want to talk about this and my thoughts on this because I honestly think it's flawed in a way. And someone who I think is missing from this list is Norman Powell. So far he's played 50 games, and there's been around 60 games played so far. So he needs 65 games to be eligible. So he is definitely on pace to win this award. However, he has missed the last few games, so I will take that into account. But I still think he should be on this list, you know? And if the reason for Norman Powell not being here is because of the injury, that makes total sense. But if not, then I think it's very dumb, because if we're talking about most improved player, we're talking about someone who is improved the most, not someone who's an all-star who went to a better all-star. Because honestly, Cade Cunningham is definitely the best player on this list for sure. Or he's definitely, he's definitely the best current player. He's having the best current season, if you know what I mean. But has he improved the most? His last season, if we pull up his stats, he went from 23-ish and 7.5 assists to 25 and 9.5 assists. Obviously, he's improved, but he was still like an all-star, borderline all-star caliber player last season, and then this season he was an all-star. But has he improved that much to be considered over a guy like Norman Powell? Like, let's pull up Norman Powell's stats for a second. Norman Powell almost jumped up 10 points from last season. He was off the bench last season. He was a 6th Man of the Year candidate, so we're not denying that he was good. But he went from a 6th Man of the Year candidate to being an all-star level player. And obviously, we've seen Norman Powell put up 20 points in the past, so there is that. But I think he's never been this good and never been this consistent in his whole career. He's an all-star caliber player, and I feel like he has improved the most. He's not better than Cade Cunningham in any way, but he has improved more. And if we look at the next person up on the list, we have Tyler Hero just behind Cade Cunningham. And don't get me wrong, Tyler Hero has improved. He is an all-star caliber player now. However, do we think he's improved 10 points per game more than Norman Powell? Obviously, Tyler Hero went from a 6-man like a few years ago to being, a 24 point per game scorer. Let's pull up his stats too, actually. So Tyler Hero basically went from, a solid 20 point per game scorer for the last 3 years to averaging 24. So he upped it by like 3 points, So has it been that much of a difference where he should be considered over Norman Powell? And yet, I will repeat myself again. If they don't have Norman Powell on this list because he has not played enough games, or they think he's not going to be able to play enough games to be eligible, that makes sense. But if that's not the reason, then I think Norman Powell should be one, or at least neck and neck with Cade Cunningham, because, Cade Cunningham has improved, Tyler Hero has improved, but, Norman Powell has improved the most. We're not talking about the guy who's improved and became the best player. We're talking about the guy who improved the most from where he was before. And if we look at the last 7 winners, we go with Giannis, who I do think he deserved that award that time because he improved a lot into like all-star superstardom. Victor Oladipo, who also improved a lot, so I think he was worthy of that award. Pascal Siakam, same thing. Brandon Ingram, same thing. Julius Randle, same thing. However, Ja Morant was extremely controversial. He went like Cade, not as much as Cade, because I think Ja Morant improved a little bit more than Cade did. However, he went from, an all-star to a better all-star. There's guys like Jordan Poole, Darius Garland that time that went from like a average role player to a star potential player, So it's just interesting how they change it up every time. Because at first they're going with Giannis, all these guys who improved a lot, to, guys like Ja Morant who went from an all-star to an all-star again. And then we also have, last season, Tyrese Maxey, and we also have the Kobe White debate. Because Kobe White went from like a 10 point per game scorer, maybe 12, 13 point per game scorer, to like a 19 point per game scorer. Tyrese Maxey went up 2 points per game or 3 points per game? I don't really know exactly the numbers, but, you get my point. Yet again, this is just all my opinion, but I do think the most improved player should go to the most improved player, not the guy, who ended up being better than the other guy and improved less but finished off as a better player overall. It shouldn't be that. It should be a guy who improved the most. So, I don't know, maybe the NBA can rename this if they want to give it to the guy who improved and became, an overall better player. I don't know what they would name it, but, you get my point. I just think the most improved player, if you're going to name it that, it should be going to the guy who has taken the biggest jump from the last season. But like I just said, this is all my opinion, so let me know what you guys think in the comments. Maybe I'm completely wrong, maybe you completely disagree with me, and that's completely fine. Everybody's supposed to have opinions for a reason. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, like the video, comment your opinion, do all that stuff. Subscribe if you actually mess with me. I post most of the time. I'm pretty consistent. I'm trying to get better in consistency, but we're with that. And yeah, like the video, do all that stuff, and yeah, I'm out.